This is the Creality SparkX i7, and believe it or not, it is actually the first modern 3D printer that I got to try. And well, I have some thoughts on how these things evolved in the last few years. Since now I've been using this Elegoo Neptune 4 Plus from a couple of years back for all my projects, and it has been working great. But I think that with this SparkX i7, 3D printing has completely changed. It has become something way more intuitive, and that now allows anyone to get very nice results with zero knowledge of the hundreds of slicer settings which you had to master and tune to get great results when 3D printer first started to be mainstream. Starting from the unboxing, this printer immediately screams beginner friendly, with it being fully assembled straight out of the box, with great protective packaging and just the need to remove these two plastic locks that keep the X-axis still during transport. If you purchase the i7 combo, you will also get the CFM Lite multi-filament unit that allows you to store up to 4 filaments and swap between them to allow for multicolor or multi-material prints. Something that we'll test later. I'm not gonna continue this review without pretending that this printer is not extremely similar to the Bambu Lab A1, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, since the exact same happened a bunch of years back with the Creality Ender 3. That became the standard of budget 3D printers and got copied by everyone else in the industry. This, in my opinion, just pushes everyone to improve their specific design, adding features that set them apart from the rest, ultimately improving innovation. Anyway, turning the printer on, the first thing you're welcomed with is this super nice color touchscreen that will immediately guide you through the calibration procedure. This is nice, since it ensures the best print quality without needing to manually calibrate the printer, and ensures that even a complete beginner goes through all the needed calibration steps. With that done, we are welcomed to the nice interface where there is access to all the needed settings and options, from lighting to file selections and filaments. I've fired up straight away the included 17 minutes Benchy file, and I was immediately impressed by the high speed that this printer is able to achieve, while maintaining very nice results that for sure surpass the ones I got with my Elegoo Neptune 4 Plus. The build construction feels quite premium, and the printer overall feels solid. I'm happy to see that the industry finally moved on from using plastic V-wheels to guide the axis, and we now have linear rods for the X and the Y axis and a linear rail on the X axis, providing way more rigidity and accuracy, enabling better quality at higher speeds. Also, the print heads are now more advanced than ever, with this specific printer featuring a quick change hot end, a small and light direct drive extruder, and most importantly, super easy access to the extruder gear, with the pull of this lever, to allow you to easily remove clogs and inspect if there is any problem. On the opposite side, there is a lever that works as a filament cutter for color changing, and the blade is also accessible and replaceable. Being this the first multicolor capable printer that I've ever tried, I immediately wanted to test this capability and printed the included model of this multicolor SparkX badge. I immediately liked the ease of mapping of the filament colors to its position on the CFM Lite, and how the model preview changes when changing the specific color assigned to each of its parts. The result came out very nice, with nicely separated colors and a good overall print quality. The only slight defect I noticed is a bit of under extrusion, which caused each layer to have lots of small empty areas, but that can be simply fixed in the slicer setting, and if you're not printing structurally strong parts, it is not an issue at all. Moving on to properly test multicolor printing, I've fired up the slicer and searched for a suitable model in the Creality model library. And I was quite disappointed that finding a good model to print turned out to be more difficult than actually printing it. with the library being flooded with AI slop models which don't even look good. I truly wish that companies stop putting AI everywhere, since I believe that for things like this, it just ruins the user experience. Anyway, you are not obligated to use this specific model library, so that's not really a problem. Despite that, a cute model I found was this dragon, which was probably also AI generated by the way, but I thought it made for a good multicolor test. So I've uploaded it to the Creality slicer and started the print. Speaking about the slicer itself, it is actually quite good, with an intuitive way of selecting colors and changing settings. But I honestly don't know why Creality changed the menu's layout so much compared to Orca Slicer, since it makes finding settings a bit more difficult if you're used to other slicers. Still, being Creality a company that doesn't try to lock you into their own ecosystem, other slicers are fully supported and they will work just as well. Anyway, the dragon turned out very nice, but being this my first proper multicolor print, I wasn't ready for the absurd amount of waste that this produced. I truly felt bad for having wasted so much material, and I didn't enjoy this printing process at all, seeing how much filament was just getting pooped out of the side of the printer. Consider that for this 5 grams model, the waste generated was 72 grams, without considering the crazy print time of 10 hours for a model that would have taken about 15 minutes in a single color. Don't get me wrong, this problem is not unique to this specific printer, and the print quality is actually very impressive. The problem is with all the single hot-end printers with color changing, since pooping out material is the only way to clean the hot-end and avoid color bleed between color changes. A very nice thing that Creality made though is their new recycling system, made exactly to reuse all of this wasted filament. But still, the huge increase in printing time is unavoidable, and only fixable by multi-hot-end printers. Moving on with the test prints, I've fired up this printer torture test, which turned out quite nice, although bridging was a bit saggy, with also the spike being quite rough with a bit too much stringing. But this is likely an issue due to the settings not being fully dialed in and not a printer's flow. The bench I printed at the beginning, in fact, turned out truly flawless, and is definitely the best bench that I've ever made, with all the details being well represented, perfect bridging and a clean surface. The same can be said about this octopus that turned out very well, and in fact I have no complaints with it. Overall print quality is very good, with fast speeds, not too much under extrusions, perfect unsupported print angle and good bridging, indicating for a well-designed cooling system, rigid structure and nicely tuned motion system. Another thing I really liked is the ability to monitor the printer anywhere in the world, through the app, with this little camera streaming live footage of the print to allow you to stop the print in case of problems, or to even start a print remotely if you happen to need that feature for any reason. Another cool thing that I discovered is that this CMF module has some RFID readers that will read small RFID chips that are present on each of Creality's official filament spools, allowing for the settings to be always perfect for the specific filament that you are using, helping once again beginners and inexperienced users. This printer is definitely one that I suggest you getting if you are a beginner or even an experienced 3D printing enthusiast, especially if your main goal is to print with a single color and don't plan to pump out color figures day in and day out. Print quality is amongst the best that I've ever seen, but please consider that I haven't tested any other printer from the last 2 years or so I can't tell you if there is a better option out there at the same or lower price. What I can confidentially say is that this SparkX i7 has very little things to complain about, most of which are not even unique to this specific model, like the absurd waste when printing multicolored projects, or the amount of AI slop models present on the model database. The biggest selling point of this, and I assume other recent 3D printers, is definitely how ridiculously easy they've become to use. With lots of amazing material presets, all sorts of automatic calibrations and error detections that will ensure that every print comes out flawless. This ultimately gets more and more people into this amazing hobby, and this is what really matters in the end. If you want to get this SparkX i7 3D printer at a discounted price, you can find a link below. That's it for this video, I will catch you in the next one.